Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Times Now, and I'm Meghna Deka. Well, is it a possibility that India is going to be hosting the Commonwealth Games of 2030? That too after a decade, or rather 2 decades of difference? Well, that's the question that we are going to be asking. Well, yes, even before the games have begun, the politics has begun. Well, India has placed its bet on Gujarat's capital, Ahmedabad, as the host city. Well, the final decision is going to be taken on the 26th of November. Tonight, we are going to take you behind the scenes into how cities are chosen, the criteria they must meet, why this race is more about games than it is about gold. It's about India's sporting legacy. 2023 Cricket World Cup finals. And what an extravaganza that was. Then following that, there were multiple IPL finals, including this year's IPL final as well, which were hosted by Ahmedabad. Of course, who can forget Chris Martin's Coldplay concert as well, which wowed not just Ahmedabad, India, but the entire world with the infrastructure and the extravaganza they managed to put up. Also, the International Kite Festival was hosted by Ahmedabad. It also was the site for the Global Yoga Festival. Should now Ahmedabad outpace others as well in this race for Commonwealth Games? Well, remember, it has already managed to outpace 2 of the other major Indian cities who were India's contenders for the official pick for the Games. And this includes a city that has already hosted the Commonwealth Games before in 2010. Yes, that's right. Ahmedabad may have been India's pick, but the 2 cities which have lost out, one of them was the capital city of Delhi itself, which hosted the 2010 Commonwealth Games, and then there was Bhubaneswar, which also lost out to Ahmedabad. But let's walk you through the step-by-step process of how a city earns the right to host the Commonwealth Games, so that you get a perspective into it. What are the steps following that? Well, the first thing that happens is the Commonwealth Federation visits the possible host cities. In the case of India, the panel had visited Delhi as well as Bhubaneswar and Ahmedabad. The IOA, which is the Indian Olympic Association, is the one which then chooses the city and submits the bid. It is a co-bidder along with the host city, which is the process which has already happened. The Indian government, remember, in this case, is the guarantor as well. Evaluation board finally is going to analyze all the bids. But let's break down the strict criteria that cities must clear even to be considered for the Commonwealth Games. And Ahmedabad seems to be meeting a lot of these criteria. First criteria is the technical delivery. Can it deliver an extravaganza of that scale? That's the biggest question. Second, the athlete experience. India, remember, has been doing very well in Commonwealth Games, so our athletes definitely have the experience in our nation. Also, innovation, collaboration, a lot of emphasis is being put on these 2 by the CWG. Also, there is alignment with the core values of the Commonwealth Games, which is critical. So why Ahmedabad? Well, famously called the Manchester of India, it edges out Bhubaneswar and Delhi. Why? Well, here are the reasons. Well, Ahmedabad already has the infrastructure, which is very robust and has held all these world-class events as well. It has the world's biggest cricket stadium, which is, of course, the Narendra Modi Stadium, which has seen the World Cup finals as well. Third reason is that the police academy is going to be turned into the shooting academy, which is why the infra is already there for the Commonwealth Games if it wins the bid. Also, it's got a bullet train which is underway, and it is expected to be functional in time for 2030. Fifth reason is that hosting the 2029 World Police and Fire Games, Ahmedabad already has a robust infrastructure, be it the travel arrangements, hotel, the food, everything is set. So what lies ahead for Ahmedabad, specifically for India? Well, here's a look at the next few hurdles for India to cross in order to officially host the 2030 Games. Well, India and the Common Games Federation are yet to sign the host collaboration agreement. Now, what does this agreement include? Well, it is going to include everything, including commercials as well as broadcasting terms, marketing funds, Also penalty in case India pulls out, like it has happened in the past as well in certain other countries. Also, the broadcast rights fees is something that the nation must come to an agreement with. Remember, the final decision, however, is going to be taken on the 26th of November. This will be in Scotland, Glasgow, at the General Assembly. And interestingly, in this General Assembly, there are going to be 74 member countries who are going to be participating and deciding on the venue as well. So if India hosts the 2030 Commonwealth Games, remember, why is it so important? Because this will automatically strengthen our bid for the 2036 Olympics. And that's what we are going to root for here in India, isn't it? But it's not all smooth sailing. Well, India has, of course, faces a lot of competition as well. Who's the competition from India? Well, it is going to be Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. Though there is little cause of concern, many would say, and here's why. Let's tell you how Abuja, which is the other contender against Ahmedabad, many would say Ahmedabad is going to have a smooth sailing. Why? Let's start with infrastructure. When it comes to infrastructure, Ahmedabad has modern sports facilities. In Abuja, it is basic sports facilities and roads, nothing compared to the world-class experience that we can provide here in Ahmedabad. Also, Ahmedabad has international events experience. As I was just telling you earlier, Abuja, on the other hand, is only continental events experience, does not have world-class events that it has hosted in the past. When it comes to logistics, Ahmedabad has a wide range of hotels. Abuja has limited high-capacity hotels on its route. Also, then, when it comes to comprehensive visitor services, it is being provided in Ahmedabad. Abuja has the challenge of managing large crowds, which Ahmedabad does not. Then when it comes to security, Ahmedabad has very strong law and order presence. In Abuja, safety and security concerns are indeed there, making Ahmedabad a better pick. Also, transportation. Ahmedabad has well-connected metro and bus network when it comes to Abuja. And of course, as I was telling you, there is going to be a bullet train also in place by 2013 in Abuja, which is the other contender against Ahmedabad. There is intra-city movement, which may face delays and nothing close to the kind of networks that we have in transportation of Ahmedabad. So as you can see, point by point, Ahmedabad seems to have the edge. But even before the games have begun, the politics are currently already in play, with the opposition, especially the Congress, questioning why Ahmedabad? Why was Ahmedabad chosen for all the major events time and again and repeatedly? What is it that they are saying? Well, they say, why is Ahmedabad the first pick every time? Congress also asks, why not Delhi? Why not Patna? Why not Guwahati? Why not Indore? Why not any other city? Why always Ahmedabad? They are also asking, why not give opportunities to others? Let them also develop just as much as Ahmedabad has over the last few years. They also say that BJP will be looting in the name of building infrastructure, which is why they want it in Ahmedabad, because BJP is in power there. Also, they say that capital Delhi is the best possible choice for a host, because after all, Commonwealth Games was in 2010 hosted by Delhi and the infrastructure is still there. Listen in to some of the voices coming in from the opposition.
अहमदाबाद ही क्यों? अभी पटना को भी इसका मौका दे देते, अभी लखनऊ को भी मौका दे दो, भोपाल को भी मौका दे दो, अभी नॉर्थ ईस्ट में गुवाहाटी को भी मौका दे दो. आपका केवल प्रेम एक ही जगह क्यों जागता है?
सब तो दिल्ली कर चुका है, एशियाड भी हो चुका, कॉमनवेल्थ भी हो चुका, यहाँ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, राजधानी है. अगर कुछ होना है तो यहाँ सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता दिल्ली को देना चाहिए.
उम्मीद करती है कि भाजपा इसमें भ्रष्टाचार नहीं करेगी, ईमानदारी से जो खेलगांव डेवलप होंगे उन्हें डेवलप करेगी, जो स्टेडियम डेवलप होंगे उसमें लूट का खेल नहीं चलाएगी.
So is there favoritism when it comes to Ahmedabad by the BJP? Well, take this year's IPL finals, for example, which, remember, was moved from Kolkata's iconic Eden Gardens to Ahmedabad. Eden Gardens is where it was supposed to be. However, last minute, it had to be shifted out. The official reason which was given is that it was due to rains and logistic. Last-minute rains, and also there were a couple of changes which were happening in the venue, postponement of matches, which is why logistically Ahmedabad was better suited. Of course, at the time too, you had a lot of criticism from the opposition that the IPL finals of 2025 were snatched away from Eden Gardens in Kolkata. West Bengal government, which has TMC in power, snatched away from TMC's state across to Ahmedabad, which is of course ruled by the BJP. Those are the kind of political face-offs that we are happening. So let me go across to two people. We have Professor Geeta Bhatt, who's joining us, a political analyst. She supports the decision of Ahmedabad being India's pick for the host city of 2030 Commonwealth Games. And we have Tausif Ahmed Khan, who is a lawyer and a political analyst. He says this decision is not justified. Professor Geeta Bhatt, I'm going to start with you. As I was just telling our viewers earlier as well, time and again it's always Ahmedabad. Is it a fixed match for the BJP?
Well, Meghna ji, in your wonderful presentation, which you have just given regarding the Ahmedabad being chosen as the venue, if we are able to succeed for bidding for the Commonwealth Games, I think Ahmedabad has, in the last 2 decades developed itself in terms of as a world-class sports hub. You see that there is a wonderful Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel sports complex, which is very, technologically very advanced, and in terms of holding sports events, you yourself just mentioned that the largest sports cricket ground is there in Motera. So you see and also in terms of infrastructure, in terms of safety, in all aspects, this city, see, all cities are very good for us, and we would like that such type of events should be held at all big cities which are there in the country. But
Geeta, is it a political decision? Is it due to logistics? Is it a political decision?
I mean, see, opposition has been coming out. You were just showing that how the opposition is coming out and criticizing this this bidding decision. But I am just reminded, Meghna ji, of the 2010 Commonwealth Games which were held in New Delhi. And at that time, I don't know if you remember or not, but I categorically remembered it was such an embarrassment for us as a country when just 1 week before the inaugural, which was going to happen at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, a footbridge just next to the stadium had fallen down.
Yes.
And the armed forces had to be called, to within 2 to 3 days, the brush up was done and again a new structure was built. 24/7 our armed forces worked on it. Let us not forget the kind of scams that happened at that time.
The Kalmadi CWG scams of 2010, they have been legendary. Some of the biggest, many have said that India has seen at a global stage where we were embarrassed as a nation, Tausif Ahmed. Why not Ahmedabad is what those people who are backing are saying. Why not? It's got world-class architecture. We have world-class infrastructure, I beg your pardon. And we've seen in the past when a Congress-ruled state, which was Delhi in 2010 under Sheila Dikshit, you saw what had happened with the entire Kalmadi fiasco. Why not Ahmedabad?
You see, Narendra Modi is so full of himself. He thinks so big of himself, even bigger than Swami Vivekananda, that he's focused on the stadium that is named after him. One of a kind. Man is living, alive, and the stadium named after him just because he's in power. In Calcutta, we do not have only Eden Garden, which is famous for cricket as a cricket stadium. We have Salt Lake Stadium, named after Swami Vivekananda. The name of the stadium, Vivekananda Yuva Bharati Krirangan. And it is also a world-class stadium. Calcutta has a world-class infrastructure. Please remember what happened in the IPL final when they shifted the match from Kolkata to Ahmedabad, saying that, oh, it's going to rain in Kolkata. What happened in Ahmedabad? In Ahmedabad also it rained. It exposed the infrastructure of Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad city was flooded. There was water inside the stadium. The stadium was flooded. Water dripping from in the pavilion. So all these excuses that we have a better infrastructure and we will have held the match in Ahmedabad is a lame excuse. You see, there's a lot of money involved in these cases. There's a lot of opportunity involved in these cases. And the attitude of this government,
if
very
there's
sadly,
money and opportunity of loot involved, then it's the same for TMC, for example. People would say TMC only
not
wants it
only-
in their state because there's an opportunity of loot there, Tausif Ahmed.
No, it is not an opportunity of loot in Gujarat. It becomes an opportunity of loot in Bengal. What kind of hypocrisy is this? Central government tenders in relation to minerals will go to a company owned by Gujarati. Now, all tenders relating to airport maintenance will go to a Gujarati company. Russian oil will be imported by Gujarati company. Now, what is happening in the country?
What's happening? Geeta
Even the
Bhatt?
sports. Now it is
Geeta Bhatt,
politicized, everything
specific
will go towards
answers on
Gujarat.
what Tausif
Why
Ahmed
not
says.
Kolkata?
Okay, let's get Geeta Bhatt to answer.
What happened in IPL
You
final?
made several points. Let Geeta Bhatt answer.
Meghna ji, see, any kind of a constructive criticism regarding any issue is something that is welcome. But now, pitching one city against other just for gaining some political brownie points by political organizations, political parties, is something which is, very unfortunate, and it is something, how low one can go in. And it is, on the world stage, we are bidding as a country.
Okay.
We are there. It would be such a proud moment for all of us.
Tausif
For
Ahmed,
getting
why are you
the
playing
Ahmedabad.
politics
Earlier,
over
we were
India's
proud that
pride?
Delhi got it. In 2010, we were proud.
it's going to
that
India's
Delhi got
pride.
it. It is unfortunate that we could not live up to the expectation of the country and of the world at that time when the kind of scams happened.
Answer that, Tausif Ahmed.
CBI inquiry against
Those who are backing it, saying stop politicizing India's pride. If Commonwealth Games is hosted in India, we should all be proud of it, regardless of which city in India gets it. Tausif.
They could not hide it.
No, there is this particular pattern I'm talking about. All the tenders, and I'm giving you example. Prove me wrong. Where am I wrong? All central government tenders, majority of them goes to Gujarat. All major events they want to hold in Gujarat. Whether it is cricket, whether any event. Why this hypocrisy? Why this stepson treatment with other states, with other cities? Let's say you do not agree with Kolkata. Why have you forgotten Delhi? Delhi is the capital of India.
But Delhi is also governed by the BJP.
Especially
Delhi is also BJP governed.
Vivekananda is a bigger name than Narendra Modi anytime. And Narendra Modi cannot replace the name of Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda is a much bigger personality than Narendra Modi. He wants to
But it's not about this Prime Minister versus this Prime Minister, India's
Swami
legend.
Vivekananda Trirangan. It's Salt Lake Stadium named after him.
Okay, so your grouse is that you have a stadium named after the living Prime Minister. It seems to be the grouse. But Geeta Bhatt, he is essentially saying that there is blatant and obvious favoritism which is at play here. And it has happened yet again. That there is stepmotherly treatment for opposition ruled state. Is that true?
Meghna ji, let me tell you that in the last 1 decade, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of airports, in terms of roads, our country has leaped by almost 25 years in terms of development, infrastructure.
You're not answering my specific question.
In 2013,
Is it selective development, Geeta Bhatt?
That's exactly what I'm answering. In terms of, it is 25 years we have lived. If you just go through what was the status of the number of airports, the kind of roads which were there in 2013, 14 and where we stand today.
What was the last big global event in an opposition ruled state? Geeta Bhatt. Let's cross all the lines of opposition. Let's cross all the lines.
Just 2 years back, G20 happened in India. We all have, seen it. Now, it was for the first time anywhere where G20 was happening. In other countries, it used to be happen, all the meetings and whatever programs were held, they happened only in one city. It was under this government in 60 cities across 28 states and union territories.
So there you have it. We are unfortunately running out of time. Professor Geeta Bhatt, Tausif Ahmed, pleasure to have both of you on your show and to have two very divergent viewpoints. We leave it to the viewers. Ahmedabad, we are all going to be very happy if India gets the chance to host the CWG Games of 2030 and pave the ways for the Olympics. But was this a fixed match? We'll let you, the viewer, decide. Without a short break, don't go anywhere.